Hello, what's up everybody? Welcome to the SATS Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Let's do this. What up, Leonard? Let's go. Welcome, Leonard. Thanks for tuning in. Man, good day today. Let's jump into the show, right? First part of the show, if you're new here, I'd like to see what the price of Bitcoin is and how many Satoshis you can buy for a single dollar during the SATS strength. What up, Captain Dan? CCA meeting, let's go. Today, Bitcoin it hit 30,000 today and it came back down to 29,730. Pretty good. So today the price of Bitcoin is $29,730 per one coin, but you don't have to buy a whole coin. You can buy fractions of a Bitcoin, which are called Satoshis, and for a single dollar today you can buy 3,364 Satoshis for a single dollar. What a deal! What a deal! Let's just say you're walking down the street minding your own business, you look down and you see a penny, pick it up, and all the day you'll have. What is this? 33.65 Satoshi. When the price of Bitcoin hits $1 million, sounds wild. I know, it sounds wild. 1 penny will be equal to 1 Bitcoin. Sorry, no, 1 penny will be equal to 1 Satoshi. Pretty wild, pretty wild. Welcome. Love it in the house. Let's go. Burning the midnight oil almost. Nice job, dude. Thanks for tuning in. Glad to have you on here. Dude, I missed Simply Bitcoin this morning. I watched the replay, but it's not the same as watching it when people are in the chat interacting. It's super fun. But there it is. 1 penny can get you 33.65 Satoshis today. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. All right, so for us today, I put the title Easy Money versus Hard Money, right? And for the Why We Stack segment, this is like the little Bitcoin orange pill segment, 11. Talking about real basics of Bitcoin. So there's a difference between easy money and hard money. And hardness is not the rigidity of it. It's not the structural capacity of it. What hardness refers to is how difficult it is to make. Okay? So for example, gold has been a standard of value for a long time because it's hard to make. It takes a lot of work and a lot of digging around and actual labor to produce gold. So it's hard. It's considered like it's a hard currency. Not a currency, but it's a hard money. It's a hard form of value holding, right? When we sit here and we look at and we covered this in the show in the past, but we look at the amount of power, the amount of hash rate on the the amount of hash rate on the Bitcoin network, right? And we see that we have 375.1 exahashes of power running the Bitcoin network, right? And that tells us that it takes that much power to have the ability to possibly be picked or win the block that could potentially win you 6.25 Bitcoin of the yet to be released supply, right? So remember, miners are not creating new Bitcoin. They're just releasing the Bitcoin that's already been scheduled to be released, okay? And so when you think about it, it takes 372 exahash of hashing power. You have to have enough gear to compete with that so that you can have a chance at winning or at creating those satoshis. That's why they call it mining, right? So think of it that way. You have to go through. You have to move a bunch of debris, a bunch of rubble, a bunch of rocks. You have to do a bunch of process. You have to do a bunch of guesses, like we described the other day. And for the chance that you might find a block, or you might be the one that wins the block, and you get the rewards for that, right? Well, every 10 minutes, a new block is minted, a new block is found, and 6.25 Bitcoin are minted. But you don't just get a miner, turn it on, run it for 10 minutes, get your 6.25 Bitcoin and call it a day. No. Your miner has to keep running because it's an odds thing, right? It's like a lottery. And in order to be participating in the lottery every 10 minutes, you have to have your machine running for longer than those 10 minutes, right? You have to have your machine running at least for those 10 minutes. Because every time a new miner gets picked to mint the next block, the lottery restarts, right? So you have to keep your machine running. You're providing that you're mining. You're providing that difficulty to win the block. So that's why it's difficult to even acquire Bitcoin, right? So there's two routes. There might be another one, but there's two routes basically. You either buy Bitcoin. No, I think these have to be the only two routes, right, McLovin? You buy the Bitcoin either from another person that has it, or from an exchange that has it, or you mine it, right? You mine it and you start building your little mining stack, right? It's more difficult to stack a whole Bitcoin now by mining, but you're still getting SATS, right? But that's the thing. There's the only two ways to get it, right? And then you look at that. That's what makes the case for Bitcoin being the hardest money, because once we get to the max supply, the max release supply of 21 million, and I know more than a million have been lost, right? And in different scenarios. But once we get the maximum supply and the Bitcoin network starts to just reward miners with the fees instead of additional Bitcoin from that's unminted, once everything is minted down to the last Satoshi, then Bitcoin will be even harder than it is now, because now for sure there's no Bitcoin being released that's not claimed already. And the only way to get it is going to be to buy it from somebody else that's already holding it, right? And there's nothing any government, any institution, any board, anybody can do to increase the supply of Bitcoin ever, right? So that's how hard it's going to be. That's what you call hard money, right? It's difficult to create. And once it gets to that point where it's done being released, you can't create anymore, okay? So then you have, on the flip side, you have money that's easy to make, right? Money that's easy to print, like we're doing now. And some of the money, and like some of the government money we use now, some of it's not even printed, right? It's as easy as changing some characters on a screen. Digital scarcity is going to blow people's minds. Just wait and see. I believe it, McLovin. I totally believe it. It's difficult to understand digital scarcity for people because we're used to when I give you something digital, I get to keep a copy of it, right? So like back in the day when like MP3s first came out, right? If you had some songs that you wanted to give me, you could send me some MP3s, and I mean it's against the law, right? But we like Napster and all that stuff, right? You can send me a copy of the music that we both like, and when you send me the copy of that music, you still got to retain your copy. So we had two copies, right? So think of that kind of like Bitcoin, except for when you send it to somebody, you don't get to keep your copy. Okay. And there's only a certain amount of copies available. Okay. So that's how cool it is. That's how crazy it is. That's how crazy it is. That's what digital scarcity is, right? So anyway, you take the opposite of that and you say and you look at easy money, right? Easy money, that's the dollar. It's easy to create. It's out of control. It's out of the control of government, as much as they try to make it seem like it is in their control. They have to keep printing it in order to pay down their debt, right? The GDP of the GDP of the country is about to hit 100% of our interest, right? on the debt. So we're like going into unexplored territory there. And on top of that, once the money gets released into the banks and stuff, the banks also create money. They create money in the form of issuing credit. So if the bank gives you credit for a car purchase or gives you credit for a home purchase, that money doesn't exist. That money is being created on the fly by those banks that are outside of the control of the government, right? So it's I mean, it's pretty wild. So you take all that, and on top of that, you go into overseas. There's also banks that can create dollars, and they can lend you in dollars, and they're also creating dollars, right? So you take all this money creation, and that's everything everything that they're doing. That's what's contributing to all the inflation we're seeing, right? And there's no way to stop it. There's no way to make that whole again. It's called like a debt spiral, right? There's no way to do it. The way we would think about it as a regular person would be like if you're a regular dude and you're making, we'll just say $50,000 a year, and you owe $350,000 in debt, and you're asking for more debt to pay back the loans that you owe, but it just keeps increasing, and nobody's telling you no, and you're still only producing. You're not even producing as much to pay for yourself, for like to run your house, and to pay the interest on your debt. So you're already in that deep of a hole that your GDP as a country is not enough to even cover your interest on the loan that you have. So so theoretically you're never going to catch up, right? You're never going to catch up. So the only way they can continue the Ponzi, they can continue that setup. I can't believe I left the screen the whole time. The only way they can continue the setup is to continue to devalue the dollar so that in the future they can pay back their own debts with cheaper money, right? And it's wild. So anyway, that's why we Bitcoin, we take our value, we take it out of that system and we set it aside in Bitcoin that's outside the reach of really corrupt monetary policy from our governments. It's outside the reach from confiscation, and it's the first of its kind, a digital asset that's scarce, and that is true property that nobody can take from you, because as long as you have your seed phrase, nobody can steal that from you. Okay, unless we come out with like mind reading, and then we're kind of screwed. if the AI figures out how to read minds, all right, we're done. We're playing a different game at that point. Okay, but anyway, that's why we stack. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. McLevin, I'm not sure why your messages all got retracted. If that's your doing, that's cool. If not, maybe our bot's going crazy. Hope it's not going crazy. All right, let's jump into. Oh, there you go. Fiat monetary systems are destined to fail. Yep. Took me a long time to fully understand this. Yeah, it's hard to understand that, McLevin, because you want to. Before I got into Bitcoin, McLevin, I always felt like something wasn't right. I always felt like, man, dude, like I see all these people working, and they're working hard. They're working like 2 jobs sometimes, right? Like what happened to the days where like I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, but like when like the wife could choose to work or not, the salary of the man or whatever the provider was enough to pay for the home, pay for the family. The wife can be home with and help with the kids, whatever, right? And you can live a good life. You could own a home, you could own a car, right? And all for one salary, right? And now it's like you need 2 adults working 2 jobs to stay afloat. That's just insane, right? Like the quality of life back then was you got more bang for your buck, I guess, right? And so for us in the United States, since our inflation is not as fast as in other countries, we know it's happening subconsciously, but it's hard for us to put a finger on it, and we don't understand how it's happening, and that's by design, right? We don't get educated on that on purpose. Like in high school or whatever, they teach you to balance a checkbook and cook some eggs at home ec and get out of here, right? So they don't want you to understand the financial system because that's part of the game. So where I was going with that is once you're in a country that's got inflation that's higher than the U.S., you start to see those things happen even faster, and you start to realize it because it's happening in the span of your lifetime, right? Well, when they do it slow enough at 2%, which is their goal, it happens over like 30 years, right? So in 30 years, it's kind of hard for us to really put a finger on it and see what's happening here, right? But now that the interest rate in the U.S. is even higher, the people are starting to see it for what it is because it's happening faster. So you're more capable of understanding that it's happening, right? So it's wild. But anyway, long story short, inflation is stealing our money. Slow. Yeah, there you go. Sailor calls it bleeding. Yeah, bleeding us slowly. Exactly. It's bleeding us slowly, dude. Very true. Anyway, so today we're going to jump into the stack recap and check out our holdings for the show. We started buying $5 an episode, and then we had to bump up to $10 an episode because that's the minimum over at Swan Bitcoin. Started buying back in May, and now the price of Bitcoin is I didn't change the screen. There we go. Started buying back in May. The price of Bitcoin today is $29,708. It is still above our average buy price. And so today we're only going to buy $10 worth for the show. Remember, what's important here is that we pick our scheduled dollar cost average day or Bitcoin cost average day, SAT cost average day, and our frequency, and we stick to it. We don't care what the price is. We just put it on the show just for us to be able to look back and have a metric. But the only number that matters here is that your Bitcoin count go up. Bitcoin number go up. Right. So today is the 8th. 8 23. Tomorrow, I have a question for you guys. Do you know what tomorrow is? Let me know what tomorrow is if you know in the chat. Okay, so yeah, I think we're pretty much ready to stack, right? All right, that's a recap. Let's do some stacking, yeah? Let's do the part of the show that we're here for. It's time to stack some SATS. Choo! We're going to jump on over to swanbitcoin.com, !Swan in the chat to get a link so you can sign up and get $10 worth of free Bitcoin when you first sign up. Sell chairs, stack SATS. Let's go. Stack harder, sell chairs. We're doing $10 worth today. It's going to cost us 10 cents. Let me change the screen before I box myself again. Boom. Get the preview going. Is it buying on? That's funny. Let's go. That's funny. Okay, so I have my screenshot over here. Let me make a copy over here. All right, here we go. We're gonna actually make the purchase now. Right? All that set up. Cut the music. And we go. Drum roll. Drum roll. Sub 30K BTC may never be seen again. Short of a Black Swan event. Yep. And there it goes. We stacked $10. It cost us 10 cents. And now it's time to chillax. Play some chill music. I turn the volume up over here. Play some chill music. Update the spreadsheet. And hit me with any questions you might have, guys, as I update the spreadsheet. Any commentary is welcome. And of course, any interaction between you guys is also welcome. So let's do that now. Boom. Today is the day. Let's see. Is today the day we hit 2 million Satoshis? We bought Bitcoin at 29,797. It cost us $10.10. Our yield is 560. And just like that, we have stacked SATS. 33,560 Satoshis have been added to our show bag, to our show stack, for a grand total of we hit 2.008 million Satoshis, or 0.02 Bitcoin. Let's go. Let's go. Our stacks are growing. The SAT count goes up no matter what. What is it? Rain or shine? Rain or shine, guys. Stack SATs all day. Cool. All right. Questions? Welcomed. If not, I'm just gonna babble for a little bit and let you guys go. But it's pretty stoked. I'm pretty stoked to be at the 2 million SAT mark. We're multi-millionaires. We're multi-SAT millionaires. SAT multi-millionaires in the house. SAT multi-millionaires. It's wild. Bitcoin had a pretty good move today, and then it kind of came back down a little bit right before the show started. I think it's probably gonna go up a little bit more. Let's see, 1, 2. I think we might get back in the 30s by the end of the week, by the middle of the week, and then probably drop back down to like the 29s on Friday. But who cares? The whole point is we're already in it. We're already on the train. We're already on the bus ride. Okay, we're already on the rocket ship. Get on board, right? we're already on the rocket ship. It's just how much of the rocket ship do you want, right? Who else do you want to bring along the rocket ship? Cool. Okay. Before I let you guys go, while I have your attention, do any of you need help or have any specific questions with different aspects of Bitcoin? A, where to buy it. B, how to take it off of the exchange and into self-custody, into, for example, a hot wallet or a warm wallet, which is a wallet on your phone. 3, how to take it out of a warm wallet and put it into cold storage, which is on a hardware, which is where a hardware device keeps your seed phrase, right? What else? What hardware to use? What else we got? Yeah, so the actual practical pieces of it. If you guys have any questions at any point, you can ask it in the chat here, or you can ask me in our Discord server. I'll take those questions and make a show out of it to help more people if possible. Okay, I'll create the episode like if I'm talking to you, but then in the future, when somebody finds this episode, it can kind of help them on their journey to becoming a Bitcoiner. Let's go. Our Discord server is the SATS Discord server. Was it Discord? Our Nightbot is working today. Great job we're doing here. So, oh, awesome. Welcome. So, Lolade, is it your first time here visiting? And if it is, guess what? Today's your lucky day. I'm going to send you 1,000 SATs. That's 1,000 Satoshis. If you haven't, are you familiar with the Lightning Network? I'll explain it real quick while I hear your response, or wait for your response. So the Bitcoin network, think of that as the base layer, right? It's the actual Bitcoin network. Think of that as the TCP/IP of your internet connection, right? On top of that TCP/IP connection, you can run a bunch of stuff. You can run connections to game servers, so you can game on that network. You can run connections to your bank, so you can do your remote banking. You can run a connection to your work, so you can connect to your work computer. You can run a connection to a streaming service, so you can watch videos, YouTube, this thing, right? It's all on top of the base layer of the internet, which is IP over TCP/IP. Oh, Lolade, that's a perfect answer. I'll take it, because the goal here is to get people to understand how Bitcoin works and also how the Lightning Network improves upon it. Okay, so that's a base layer. On top of the base layer, we have what's called the application layer, right? You can make different apps that use the foundation layer for either communication, so for the actual transfer of data, or in Bitcoin's case, we use the base layer for communication and actual transfer of value. Okay, that's what the difference is. The internet is transfer of data over IP, and Bitcoin is transfer of value over IP as well, right? So, and IP stands for Internet Protocol. Okay, so when somebody says, "Oh, what's your IP address?" That's like what computers use to talk to each other. Think of it as like addresses, like on your street. Okay, so Lolade, what I need you to do is download an app called Wallet of Satoshi. If you use Apple, you can use the Apple Store, and if you use an Android device, you can use Google Play to find an app called Wallet of Satoshi. Okay, so let me explain it to you guys how the Lightning Network works. Okay, so we have the Bitcoin network here, layer 1. On top of that, somebody decides to create this whole cool infrastructure that works with the base layer one level above, and it adds this functionality that you're able to make quick Bitcoin transactions in small quantities, in SAT quantities, for not that much fees or close to zero fees, right? Which is, again, it's a transfer of value instantly over the internet from me or from you to whoever you want. That's also on the Lightning Network. And all you need to join this Lightning Network and be able to get your first SATs of Bitcoin is just download an app like Wallet of Satoshi. Okay, so once you have the app downloaded, if you want to do this, once you have the app downloaded, let me know and I'll tell you what the next steps are. Okay, so the way the Lightning Network works is, let's say Leonard and I want to create a channel between us where we can route payments. Okay, so I tell Leonard, hey Leonard, let's create a channel between us two for the Lightning Network, and let's put a value on the channel of about 1,000 SATs. No, let's do 100,000 SATs, because I want to be able to send a lot of 1,000 SAT transactions. Okay, so Leonard says, cool. Okay, you do 5,000 SATs on your side, and I'll do 5,000 SATs on my side. Okay, so then we go onto the Lightning Network on our Lightning nodes, and we tell our nodes, okay, Roman's gonna commit 5,000 SATs of his Bitcoin to this side of the channel, and Leonard is gonna commit 5,000 SATs to his side of the channel. Okay, and then so what happens is now we have a channel between Leonard and myself with 5,000 SATs on each side. When Leonard receives a payment from, let's say I'm gonna send Leonard 1,000 SATs. Okay, I go to my side of my node and I tell it, hey, send Leonard 1,000 sats. And all it does is shifts 1,000 sats from my side to Leonard's side. And now Leonard has 6,000 on his side and I have 4,000 on my side, right? Well, in order for that Bitcoin that I sent to Leonard, let's say I wanted to get that to McLovin, right? And McLovin doesn't have a connection directly to me, but he has a connection to somebody that has a connection with Leonard. That's fine. Leonard's connection to McLovin's node is another 5,000 sats to 5,000 sats channel. Okay, so when I send 1,000 sats to McLovin, it pushes another 1,000 from my side to Leonard's side and makes my side 3,000. It makes Leonard's side on our channel, 7,000, and then he also pushes that on his channel between him and McLovin, and he pushes him the 1,000 that way. So what you're doing is you're moving Bitcoin, but everybody in the channel is getting made whole because they're either pushing Bitcoin towards them, they're receiving it, and then pushing it out the other side, or the other way around, right? So like think of it like like this. It's like you're sliding beads on an abacus. Okay, that's how like the Lightning Network would work, and it doesn't work if you don't have everybody creating channels to each other, and it basically creates a network, right? And so sometimes, like in the case of Wallet of Satoshi, we don't have to pay that many fees or any fees because we're all Wallet of Satoshi users, right? So Wallet of Satoshi is not going to charge us a fee and pay themselves a fee just to move data from me to McLovin or from me to Leonard, because all of us are using Wallet of Satoshi, so it would make sense for them to charge themselves a fee, right? But I have a private node set up, and my node, I can set it up to that. I can send sats to my Wallet of Satoshi account, and when I do that, it does cost me 1 sat per transaction, which is still not that bad, right? So, low laid, if you want to do it today or maybe come back tomorrow, we have 1,000 sats waiting for you. As soon as you download Wallet of Satoshi, I'll send you the 1,000 sats. And as soon as you download Wallet of Satoshi, I'll walk you through getting me your user ID, and I'll send you 1,000 sats during the show if you want them. If not, it's okay. I understand I'm a guy on the internet, but I just want to prove the technology out and get you interested in it and get you started with how to actually use it. Okay, and without it costing you anything but like a little bit of your time. Okay, so if you're not interested now, come back anytime. I'm here Monday through Friday, 8:15 p.m. most of the nights except for Wednesday. Wednesdays sometimes I do the show a little bit later. But yeah, think about it. Anyway, back to the resources I was talking about. Our Discord server is set up so that when my family or friends ask me about Bitcoin, when I finally convince them to have a good solid look at it, I want it all to be there laid out in order for them to just go on there and check it out. So for example, we have a Bitcoin basics category, and in there we have a list of the books I recommend, which include Inventing Bitcoin, the technology behind the first truly scarce and decentralized money explained. Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Yeah, excellent. Lolade, that's great. No worries. Another book we recommend for sure is The Bitcoin Standard, the decentralized alternative to central banking, and a great book about like technology and how it affects the prices of things. It's called The Price of Tomorrow: Why Deflation is the Key to an Abundant Future by Jeff Booth. That's a really good book too. All good books. So I have links in there to those exact titles, but I recommend you start with Inventing Bitcoin. And then the free resources, of course, we have the Giga Chad Michael Saylor talking about the future of Bitcoin during the 2023 Prague BTC conference. That is a really cool video. It's about 30 minutes, and it takes you through the process of of comparing all the assets that are available to us to save our wealth in, and how they don't make sense. And Bitcoin is really one of the only ways to do it. Okay. And then a couple other really good videos by what are they called? Basically, some cool presentations on how to understand Bitcoin. If you don't want to go the book route, you want to go the free route, you watch some of these videos. It's like the stories we tell ourselves about money. It's a really cool series. And then we have a list of articles that are good to check out, and we have our links to Swan Bitcoin, affiliate link to Swan Bitcoin. If you're interested and you want to actually start buying, it's there ready for you to go with some instructions. And then on top of that, we have some hardware wallets we recommend. And basically, that's the whole Bitcoin basics section of the website. And of course, we have just the general chat area. Just buy some Bitcoin before Saylor buys it all. Yeah, exactly. Buy some Bitcoin before Michael Saylor buys it all, and also before BlackRock and all these other companies that are buying for Bitcoin ETF buy it all. When the Bitcoin ETF comes out, you will be tempted to buy Bitcoin ETF instead of actual Bitcoin. Don't do it. Not financial advice. But what if you were trying to buy something of value, and I said, hey, tell you what, give me your money, I'll buy it for you, and it's yours, but we'll keep it at my house. Here's a piece of paper, or not even that, not even a piece of paper. Here is a login. You can log in and check how much is in there. And don't worry, I run the website. I can tell you it's good. Trust me, right? No. That's not what we do here, guys. We don't need to trust anybody. That's the whole point of Bitcoin. We verify. We can see our SAT count in our wallet on the blockchain, and we know it's there. We don't have to trust somebody to let us know that our money is there, right? That's the whole reason why we take our money. That's the whole reason why we take our Bitcoin off of the exchange, right? And I like Swan Bitcoin. They haven't done anything bad for me so far, but it's always with a grain. It's always with a little degree of hesitation, not hesitation, of just you gotta be smart, right? You gotta be smart. You take your money, you take your Bitcoin off of the exchange, because there's nothing really stopping them from telling you that you have X amount of Bitcoin, right, in your account, until you have to withdraw it. Until you make that withdrawal request, they have to then commit that amount of Bitcoin and tell the Bitcoin network that they're transferring it to your wallet, right? Until that happens, that money is not yours. Until that happens, that Bitcoin is not yours, right? So that's the power of Bitcoin. You don't have to trust a bank. You don't have to trust a third party to tell you that your money is there. Oh yeah, and by the way, you can't get access to it in person on weekends before 9 a.m. or after 4 p.m. when they know damn well that's when most people are working, right? So they have all these little gates and fences to keep you from accessing your own money, right? Is it my money or not? With Bitcoin, I can use it, I can move it for pennies, and I can do it on a holiday if I need to. I don't need an employee working at an office for me to be able to access my money. All I need is for the Bitcoin network to continue to run, which it is, right? 375 exahash worth of processing. That's gonna make damn sure my money is there when I want to move it or when I need it, and there's nothing that anybody can do to stop it. Boom. What else do you want? Are you not entertained? All right, guys. That's all I got. And just to round things off, you know, just to round things off, you know how it is. Just to round things off, smoking is bad for your health, and saving in dollars is bad for your wealth. Good night, guys. Thanks, Leonard. Thanks, McLovin, Captain Dan, Carl. If you watch the replay, thanks for tuning in. Of course, Lolade. See you guys. See you next time. Have a good one, guys.